Obito Uchiha. Obito Uchiha awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan, watching Rin Nohara, the girl he loved, die right in front of him during the Third Great Ninja War. But here's where it gets absolutely twisted. At that moment, Obito only had his right eye left, because his left eye was already transplanted into Kakashi Hatake. And yet, the pain Obito felt was so intense, so soul-crushing, that both eyes, even though they were in two different people, awakened the Mangekyo at the exact same time. That was the moment the hopeful kid named Obito died, and Tobi, the masked man who wanted to destroy the world, was born. Now let's talk about Kamui, the busted ability both of Obito's eyes possess. Honestly, it's easily one of the most overpowered Mangekyo techniques in the entire Narutoverse. Obito's right eye lets him teleport himself, or anything he touches, into his personal dimension, the Kamui dimension, but only at close range. Sounds simple, but in battle, it's absolutely broken. It turns him intangible. Every single attack just phases through him like he's a literal ghost. Meanwhile, the left eye works totally differently. It creates a long-range space portal with a crazy strong suction force, pulling anything straight into that same Kamui dimension. The point is, these two eyes are completely immune to each other. The Kamui from one can't absorb the Kamui from the other. That's exactly why when Obito and Kakashi fought, the battle was on another level of mind-bending chaos. Obito's whole fighting style revolves around abusing that intangibility. He rushes right into combat, lets every attack go straight through him, and then strikes back when his enemies are totally confused. He even combined Kamui with chains and close-range weapons, creating attacks that were basically impossible to block. Later, when he got both eyes back, Obito could use Kamui twice as fast, and synced it with Kaguya's Yomotsu Hirasaka. Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha was the first Uchiha in history to awaken the Mangekyo Sharingan. He lived through the Warring States era, a time when war never stopped, when brothers literally died side by side like it was nothing. For a man like Madara, who watched his friends and siblings fall one after another, one day, it exploded into the power of the Mangekyo. When it comes to the specific abilities of Madara's eyes, the story never actually tells us what they were. He never showed any unique Mangekyo powers, but what we did see was enough to shake the ninja world. Madara could summon Susanoo, the ultimate warrior god of the Uchiha clan. That alone proves just how insanely powerful he was. Of course, every great power comes with a price. Overusing the Mangekyo slowly made Madara lose his eyesight. Eventually, he went completely blind. That's when his brother Izuna Uchiha made the ultimate sacrifice. On his deathbed, Izuna gave his own eyes to Madara to protect the Uchiha's future. And just like that, Madara became the first person ever to awaken the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan in the manga, eyes that would never go blind, with power that went way beyond normal limits. Madara's fighting style is straight-up overwhelming force. When you're that powerful, you don't need strategy. You just crush everything in your way. Madara used his Susanoo like a walking fortress, smashing through anything that dared to stand against him. He combined his Sharingan with elite taijutsu, massive-scale ninjutsu, and decades of battle experience to become a perfectly balanced warrior with 0 weak points. Later, when he evolved his eyes into the Rinnegan, Madara became even more of an unstoppable monster, but that's a whole other chapter of chaos on its own. Izuna Uchiha. Izuna Uchiha awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan right after Madara did. Of course he did, bro. The Uchiha clan never puts all its genius in one basket. Both Izuna and Madara lost countless brothers during those brutal, endless wars, and that pain, that heartbreak stacking up over and over, ignited the flame of the Mangekyo in their eyes. When it comes to Izuna's specific Mangekyo powers, sadly, we got nothing. It's honestly one of the biggest missed opportunities in the whole series. Izuna died way too early, before we could ever see what he was truly capable of when going all out. The only thing we do know is that Izuna's Mangekyo had Choku Tomoe, a straight Tomoe pattern that far surpasses other designs in terms of perception and motion prediction. This granted him incredible combat reflexes and agility, which is exactly why we can confidently say he was an exceptional swordsman. Izuna was strong enough to stand beside Madara Uchiha, fighting as an equal during the darkest, bloodiest era in shinobi history. That fact alone speaks volumes about his raw talent and insane power. Before dying from a fatal battle wound, Izuna made the ultimate move. He willingly gave both of his eyes to Madara so his brother could regain his sight and keep protecting the Uchiha clan's future. Sasuke Uchiha. Sasuke Uchiha awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan after learning the truth about Itachi, that the brother he hated for years actually sacrificed everything to protect him and Konoha. Itachi wasn't the cold-blooded traitor Sasuke thought he was. He was a tragic hero who carried the entire curse of the Uchiha on his back. And Sasuke had killed him without ever knowing the truth. Now, let's talk power. Sasuke's Mangekyo abilities are totally unique compared to Itachi's. Sasuke can use Amaterasu, the black flames that burn anything they touch. He even developed a custom technique called Kegutsuchi, which lets him shape the black flames into different attack forms. Sasuke could twist the flames into spears, blades, or defensive shields, and he even covered his Susanoo in black fire armor, boosting both offense and defense like an absolute monster. He can shape them, bend them, or even extinguish them whenever he wants. That's an insane evolution compared to Itachi, who could summon the flames but not fully control them afterward. And just like Itachi, once both his Mangekyo eyes were active, Sasuke could summon Susanoo, the massive warrior avatar that defines true Uchiha power. One cool detail about Sasuke's Mangekyo is the design. The tomoe in his eyes are straight like Madara's, giving him smoother movement and sharper reflexes in battle. At first, Sasuke actually refused to transplant Itachi's eyes for the eternal Mangekyo Sharingan because he believed his path was totally different from his brother's. But as his vision kept getting worse from overusing the Mangekyo, and as his determination to kill Naruto burned even stronger, Sasuke finally accepted Itachi's eyes. Later on, his left eye evolved into the Rinnegan after receiving Chakra from Hagoromo Otsutsuki, but it still kept all of his Mangekyo's abilities. So yeah, the man literally had two god-tier Dojutsu in one face. Shisui Uchiha. Shisui Uchiha awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan through a silent kind of pain that most people never even knew about. He watched his closest friend and rival die right in front of him, and the guilt of not being able to save that person completely tore him apart inside. That was what triggered his legendary eyes. Now, let's talk about his power. And bro, it's straight up terrifying. Shisui's signature ability, Kotomatsukami, is a genjutsu so powerful it messes with your mind at the deepest level possible. Both of his eyes could use it, and it lets him control someone's thoughts completely, so perfectly that not even the victim realizes they're being controlled. And this isn't your regular illusion stuff. There's no fake scenery or hallucination here. Kotoa Matsukami literally rewrites your beliefs from the inside, making you think that the thoughts he implants are your own. If Shisui wanted, he could turn enemies into allies or loyal comrades into traitors, and they'd never suspect a thing. But of course, such insane power comes with a massive cost. Each eye can only use Kotoa Matsukami once per day, and it takes years for the ability to recharge completely. In the anime, once both his Mangekyo awakened, Shisui could also summon Susanoo, but that wasn't really his main strength. His true power was in ending conflicts before they even started. Shisui's entire strategy was built around stopping war without fighting. He didn't need to draw a blade if he could change hearts with a glance. His plan was to use Kotoa Matsukami to prevent the Uchiha coup, a move that could have saved both Konoha and his clan if it had worked. But then came Danzo Shimura, who stole Shisui's right eye, claiming he needed that power to protect the village his own way. Afraid that Danzo might come for his other eye, Shisui made his final, heartbreaking decision. He gave his left eye to Itachi, trusting his best friend to carry on his mission and protect the village. Fugaku Uchiha. Fugaku Uchiha, the father of Itachi and Sasuke, awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan under some dark and painful circumstances that most fans didn't even know about until the anime dropped that info. During the Third Great Ninja War, Fugaku watched one of his closest friends die right in front of him. That heartbreak straight up triggered his legendary eyes. But what really makes Fugaku stand out isn't just how he got the eyes, it's what he did after. He chose to keep his Mangekyo a total secret, not even telling anyone in the Uchiha clan. Why? Fugaku knew the truth. The Mangekyo is born from pain and loss. If people knew he had it, they'd start chasing that same power, even if it meant killing someone they loved. Fugaku didn't want that blood-soaked madness to spread through his clan. So instead of flexing his power, he carried that burden alone. Yeah, this man put his clan's morality and peace above his own god-tier power. When it comes to Fugaku's actual abilities with the Mangekyo, info is super limited, and honestly, that's a crime, because we never get to see him throw hands with it. But there's one thing that is confirmed. Fugaku believed his Mangekyo was strong enough to control the Ninetales, the freaking Kyuubi. Now, this isn't some wild brag. We know Madara controlled the Kyuubi before, and Obito pulled it off later too. So if Fugaku was confident he could do the same, that means his Mangekyo had to pack some seriously broken genjutsu, maybe even something on par with Shisui's Kotoa Matsukami in terms of total mind control. Hagoromo Otsutsuki. In the anime, Hagoromo was forced to kill his own twin brother, Homura, the person he loved more than anyone, just to free him from their mother Kaguya's control. Yeah, you heard that right, he had to kill his brother to save him. Imagine being stuck between two impossible choices. Let your brother stay trapped like a puppet under your mom's jutsu, or fatally injure him yourself to set him free. He chose the second option, and that's what triggered his Mangekyou Sharingan. But here's where things get totally insane. Right after unlocking his Mangekyo, Hagoromo's eyes instantly evolved into the Rinnegan. It didn't even stop at the Mangekyo stage. The man literally broke the system. Now, about his power, since his eyes evolved too quickly, we don't know what specific techniques his Mangekyo had. But we do know one thing. Hagoromo could summon a complete body Susanoo so massive, it was on the same scale as the Ten Tails itself. Like, bro, that's not big Susanoo energy. That's Godzilla-level Chakra Kaiju energy, standing shoulder to shoulder with a creature that can wipe out entire nations with one move. That's beyond overpowered. And here's the craziest flex, because Hagoromo's Mangekyo evolved straight into the Rinnegan, he basically gained the same stability as an eternal Mangekyou Sharingan. That means no blindness, no drawbacks, no cooldowns. That kind of advantage is absolutely monstrous. Something only Hagoromo ever achieved. No one else in Uchiha history even comes close to that. Shin Uchiha. Shin Uchiha is a totally different breed when it comes to Mangekyou Sharingan users. Shin isn't your regular Uchiha with family drama or emotional pain. He's literally a science experiment cooked up by Orochimaru. This guy was created with perfect compatibility for any kind of body tissue. He's not an Uchiha by blood, but more like a tool, a lab-made weapon built to study and exploit the power of the Sharingan. Now, here's the wildest part. Shin's Mangekyo isn't just his. Every single one of his clones, because they share the exact same DNA, has the same Mangekyo design and the same powers. That's something we've never seen in Uchiha history. Shin's right eye lets him control anything with telekinesis, as long as he's marked it with a special seal through direct contact. Sounds simple, but in combat, that power is crazy dangerous. Shin can manipulate weapons from afar, twist the battlefield itself, and turn literally anything he touches into a weapon. Even his creature pet has the exact same Mangekyo design, which just makes this whole ability even weirder. Shin's entire battle strategy revolves around maxing out that telekinesis power. Before a fight, he marks a ton of weapons and tools, then sends them flying in a full-on storm of attacks from every direction. And when you throw in his army of clones, all with the same power, Shin basically turns the battlefield into a chaotic death trap. But even though there are multiple Mangekyo users among Shin's clones, none of them can use Susanoo. Probably because their Sharingan power is artificially made, not naturally awakened. It's like a copy of the real thing, powerful as hell, but missing that divine Uchiha essence. Indra Otsutsuki. Indra Otsutsuki was the one who built the bloody legacy of the entire Uchiha clan. In the anime, his awakening is shown when he killed his two most loyal followers. Indra was dead serious about proving himself. His ambition and obsession with personal strength pushed him to cross every moral line to show that he was truly worthy of power. And that's where the Uchiha curse began. Strength born from pain, loss, and heartbreak. When it comes to abilities, Indra's Mangekyou Sharingan was absolutely insane. His left eye held a technique called Hinokagutsuchi, a jutsu that creates black flames, exactly like Amaterasu in both look and function. In fact, Hinokagutsuchi might straight up be the prototype for Amaterasu, the same black fire used by Itachi and Sasuke generations later. But here's the wild part. Even those black flames couldn't burn through Asura's Amanomi Hashira, showing that Indra's power, while god tier, still had its limits when faced with pure, overwhelming chakra force. Could he activate Susanoo? Absolutely. In fact, According to manga, his Susanoo is considered the prototype, the origin of all Susanoo in the series, not Hagoromo's. Indra's whole fighting style screamed absolute confidence and raw power. He believed in himself and ninjutsu alone. No teamwork, no backup. He'd mix Hinokagutsuchi with Susanoo to create this full-on offense-defense combo, the black flames controlling the range, while Susanoo acted as his unbreakable armor. Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi Hatake awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan at the same moment as Obito, when the girl he swore to protect at all times chose to die by his own lightning cutter. Rin knew that the hidden mist had planted Izubu, the Three Tails, inside her body, turning her into a walking bomb meant to destroy Konoha. So instead of letting that happen, she threw herself into Kakashi's attack, sacrificing herself to save the village and the people she loved. Kakashi watched it all, felt her blood on his hands, and that unbearable guilt of not being able to protect the person he swore to save triggered his Mangekyo Sharingan. His Mangekyo holds a long-range version of Kamui, a reality-bending jutsu that lets him create an invisible barrier around anything he focuses on and warp it straight into another dimension. At first, he had a rough time aiming and would burn through chakra insanely fast, eyes hurting, the full Uchiha experience. But over the years, Kakashi mastered that thing. He trained relentlessly, perfected his aim, and learned to use Kamui so fast that he could use it on a tiny and super fast object like Pain's nail. Later on, when Kakashi lost his Sharingan, Obito's spirit returned temporarily and lent him both Mangekyo eyes, and that's when Kakashi fully transformed into a straight-up monster on the battlefield. Because those eyes were loaded with Six Paths chakra, he could use them at full power with zero side effects, no blindness, no bleeding, no exhaustion. Now, Kakashi could use both versions of Kamui. The long-range one could delete anything from existence, while the short-range one let him phase his own body, turning intangible so every single attack just passed through him. Combine that with Lightning Cutter, and you basically get a ninja who can't be touched and can kill you in one clean hit. Yeah, that's Kamui Raikiri. And then, bro, we get to Kamui Shuriken. When Kakashi awakened both eyes, he summoned a complete body Susanoo that could fly, shield his allies, and even turn invisible just like Kamui. This giant armored titan could launch Kamui Shuriken, massive spinning blades that warped anything they hit straight out of reality. This was Kakashi at his absolute peak, the copy ninja turned into a Six Paths tier powerhouse, fighting alongside the gods of the Fourth Great Ninja War. No Sharingan user fought like him, and honestly, no one ever will. Itachi Uchiha. Itachi awakened his Mangekyo Sharingan after witnessing his best friend, Shisui Uchiha, take his own life right in front of him. The pain from that day literally ignited Itachi's terrifying new power. And the craziest part was that this all happened just days before Itachi had to stain his hands with the blood of his own clan. The power he gained after that was absolutely insane. His left eye unlocked Tsukiyomi, a genjutsu that completely bends time inside the victim's mind. Sounds simple, right? Nah, in the real world, only a single second passes, but inside Tsukiyomi, the target gets tortured for what feels like 72 straight hours. No normal human mind can handle that. Most people completely break down, body and soul. Then there's his right eye, which unleashed Amaterasu, the black flames that never go out. Whatever Itachi looks at gets burned down to literal ashes. No escape, no mercy. And when he combines both eyes, he summons Susanoo, a massive warrior god wrapped around him like armor, wielding two legendary divine tools, the Totsuka blade, which seals anything it pierces, and the Yata mirror, an absolute defense that blocks any attack. Itachi wasn't invincible, but his Susanoo certainly was, but Itachi was never that reckless brawler type. He's a pure tactical genius. Every single move he made was calculated. He knew activating Mangekyo techniques would drain his chakra fast, especially while suffering from a deadly illness. So he only used them when absolutely necessary, as finishing blows to end the fight instantly. Normally, he avoided direct combat and preferred to end battles using genjutsu instead.
Chakra transfer technique. First off, let's dive straight into one of the most absolutely foundational and totally deep ideas in Naruto, the chakra transfer technique. The origin goes all the way back to Hagoromo Otsutsuki. He created this technique with a vision that was absolutely pure, connecting the spiritual energy of every living being so people could build and maintain peace through ninshu. Think about it, a world where humans could literally share their life force with each other, creating bonds way deeper than any political alliance. The core concept is honestly simple. You give a piece of your chakra to someone else, with the exact amount fully controlled by the person giving it. And yeah, the original idea of chakra was actually beautiful, sharing energy, linking hearts, understanding each other, living in harmony. But of course, humans being humans, they said, nah, let's just use it to fight. So instead of connecting emotions, we ended up with a full-blown ninjutsu network, insanely efficient, super flashy, and completely optimized for throwing hands. Peace? Not really. Epic ninja battles? Absolutely maxed out, and we can totally see how insanely powerful the applications are. Advanced users like Minato and Naruto can actually tweak the chakra they transfer so it perfectly matches the receiver's own chakra type. For Naruto, having Kurama in the mix brings even more insane benefits. The person getting his chakra gets wrapped up in that glowing cloak, just like Naruto's first tailed form, but without the tails. Now, even after giving it away, the user can still control that chakra from a distance. Imagine the tactics. You can power up your teammates remotely and keep adjusting their boost for the entire fight. That's absolutely next level. The bond between Tsunade and Katsuyu shows another ridiculously good application through her Byakugo seal. During Pain's invasion, Tsunade pumped healing chakra into Katsuyu, and then Katsuyu spread it out to all the injured villagers across the leaf. Sakura replicated the same method in the 4th Ninja War, proving just how reliable this technique is in massive scale battles. And yeah, it's not just about healing either. Tsunade gave Onoki extra chakra so he could blast out that insanely strong dust release against Madara's wood clones. Sakura even boosted Obito's Kamui. These examples show how this technique basically doubles up the power in clutch battles, making it one of the most absolutely busted support tools in the entire series. This technique even goes beyond the line between life and death. Dan Kato, when he existed only as a spirit inside Tsunade's consciousness, was still able to restore her chakra and recharge her Byakugo seal. And Obito, even after his body got literally burned to nothing, still managed to transfer chakra and his dojutsu powers over to Kakashi. These cases show that chakra connection can absolutely transcend physical limits. The way it works is basically chakra being passed directly from person to person, and when people share chakra like that, they can also totally feel and understand each other's emotions and thoughts, like when Killer Bee and Iruka fist bumped. Or when Naruto shared chakra with the entire Shinobi Alliance, you could literally see the whole Naruto versus Sasuke love-hate drama being broadcast to every single ninja across the 5 nations. Or when Naruto connected chakra with Obito, he could actually witness Obito's painful past with Rin and even cried for him. That right there is the true philosophy of ninshu. But here's the thing, only in rare cases like those do we see that deeper ninshu idea come alive. Most of the time, regular chakra transfer doesn't connect people's souls like that. It's usually just pumped into weapons or into a person's body to boost combat power. Chidori Current. Now we're talking about a wide-range technique that Sasuke cooked up during his training with Orochimaru, Chidori Current. This is basically an evolution of the classic Chidori. But instead of focusing all that lightning chakra into one single point, like the usual Chidori, Sasuke learned how to release it in every direction straight from his whole body. Imagine turning yourself into a living electric bomb. That's exactly what this is. The move lets him zap multiple enemies at once, while also creating an instant defensive shield around himself. And when that lightning chakra touches an opponent's body, it totally messes with their nervous system. The brain gets tricked into thinking it's receiving legit nerve signals, and their muscles spasm out of control, the body goes completely stiff, and at the same time, they're still taking continuous damage. It's a brutal combo, paralysis and pain at once. Sure, the direct damage to one single target isn't massive, but Sasuke can even channel this technique into the ground to extend its range, turning the entire area into a literal death zone. Lava Release Chakra Mode. Now we're getting into an insanely brutal transformation mode, Lava Release Chakra Mode. This is the heightened state that Roshi activates after manifesting one of Son Goku's tails, and honestly, the destructive power here is absolutely no joke. When he enters this mode, Roshi completely covers his whole body in a coating of living lava. That means every single punch and every single kick he throws comes packed with molten damage. And it gets crazier, he doesn't even need direct contact to burn his targets. The extreme heat generated from that lava coating creates a heat aura so strong it literally scorches enemies just for standing too close. This is the perfect example of a dual-purpose technique. On offense, his physical attacks get exponentially boosted with molten damage. On defense, the lava coating works as a natural deterrent. Anyone dumb enough to attack him physically gets instantly burned. Imagine fighting an opponent where just touching them is basically a self-destruct move. Lightning Release Chakra Mode. Now we're at one of the most powerful and absolutely iconic chakra modes ever, Lightning Release Chakra Mode. This is the exact technique that turned the fourth Raikage into one of the fastest and strongest shinobi in history. The mechanics are honestly simple. The user wraps their entire body in a layer of lightning chakra, boosting every single physical stat. The more lightning chakra you pump in, the crazier your performance gets. And here's the fun detail. Your hair literally sticks up higher the stronger your power level is. Straight up Dragon Ball vibes right there. This lightning cloak creates what's called nintaijutsu, a deadly combo of ninjutsu and taijutsu that dramatically amps up the strength of physical attacks. At the same time, the lightning layer acts like natural armor, deflecting most attacks on contact. The fourth Raikage was actually impressed when Chidori managed to pierce this defense. But hey, Chidori is one insanely strong lightning-style jutsu anyway. But the truly insane part here is the speed boost. Lightning directly stimulates the nervous system, jacking up both speed and reaction time to absolutely absurd levels. With this, the user can perform the lightning release body flicker to dodge even Amaterasu. The speed is so ridiculous that even the Sharingan can't keep track of the movements. Only Minato's Flying Thunder God and Naruto's Nine Tails mode were faster. Nine Tails Chakra Mode. Now we're stepping into one of the most legendary and absolutely game-changing transformations in the entire Naruto universe, Nine Tails Chakra Mode. This is the ultimate expression of Jinchuriki power, and once Naruto mastered it, he literally became a force of nature. When activated, Naruto's whole body gets coated in bright yellow chakra that flickers like flames. The visual design is totally iconic. 2 horns on his head, 6 Magatama markings circling his neck, and that swirl pattern on his stomach, all of them pure symbols of the Nine Tails' insane power. The physical boosts from this mode are honestly beyond comprehension. Even in just the basic Nine Tails Chakra mode, Naruto was kicking White Zetsu army soldiers down with a single strike. His speed? Absolutely cracked. He was fast enough to dodge the fourth Raikage's lightning release body flicker, a technique we already know is insanely fast. And the protective chakra cloak is no joke either. It let him tank lava-based attacks with only minor injuries, and he even managed to survive the massive natural disaster Jutsu Tenpenchi. Though yeah, the cloak did get destroyed in the process. Still, surviving that at all is just absurdly god tier. What's truly remarkable here is the chakra arms. Naruto can literally grow arms made out of his surrounding chakra to interact with the environment or boost his movement. He uses them to form Rasengan variants, basically replacing shadow clones for shape and nature transformation. This is an absolutely brilliant innovation, turning a defensive chakra cloak into offensive weapons. And, yeah, Kurama mode. Once Naruto learned the Nine Tails' real name, Kurama, their hearts synced up, achieving perfect harmony. His pupils turned slitted, the whisker marks on his face thickened into trigram-like symbols, and the chakra cloak reshaped into a full-length haori, just like Minato's. This is the completed version of Nine Tails Chakra mode, with access to tailed beast balls and even partial manifestations of Kurama's body parts whenever needed. The power-sharing capability here is insanely busted. Naruto can transfer his chakra to others, giving them enhanced chakra cloaks of their own. Hinata, after receiving his chakra, was able to deflect the Ten Tails tail with a single 8 trigrams vacuum palm. Kakashi's Kamui even got boosted threefold with Kurama's chakra. Absolutely cracked. And finally, we have Tailed Beast mode, a full-sized Kurama replica. Unlike other Jinchuriki who fully transform, Naruto and Minato create translucent constructs they control from the inside. This is the perfect balance between power and control, letting them still use their original jutsu while commanding a massive tailed beast construct. Kurama can even speak through this replica and be granted independent control when necessary. Straight up god-level power play. Exploding Human. Man, this is honestly one of the most brutal and terrifying jutsu we've ever seen in Naruto, the Exploding Human technique. This thing was created by Chino after the Fourth Shinobi World War. Its inspiration actually came from studying mineral springs that had been in contact with white Zetsu. Yeah, bro, even after the war ended, people were still out here turning science experiments into deadly weapons. The way this technique works is absolutely twisted. When the user with the Ketsuryugen touches a target, they inject this toxic chakra right into their body. That poison chakra instantly makes the body unstable on a molecular level, but it doesn't even trigger right away. Once the victim starts bleeding, that cursed chakra kicks in. Their whole body gets covered in this black, tar-like substance, swells up in a grotesque way, and then, boom, explodes with ridiculously destructive power. The only saving grace? There are actually ways to stop it. If you can block their chakra flow, knock them unconscious, or if a medic nin gets there fast enough to extract the toxic chakra, you can totally prevent the explosion. Earth Release, Earth Spear. Alright, this is Kakuzu's crazy move right here. The user channels earth-natured chakra through their whole body, or just one part of it, and their skin instantly darkens. And then, their defense gets boosted to the point where their body is literally hard as diamond. What makes this technique so damn brilliant is that it's both a perfect defense and a devastating offense. You can tank almost any attack with basically zero damage. The only real weakness is lightning release, since Earth naturally gets countered by lightning. But on the flip side, your physical strikes hit exponentially harder, like you're basically punching with wrecking ball force. That's why Earth Spear is considered a top-tier all-purpose technique. It can totally handle a ridiculous number of combat situations, making it one of the most insanely versatile jutsu out there. Rock Armor. The name already kinda tells you what's up, right? But here's the twist. This isn't some clunky heavy stone armor like you'd expect. Instead, the user flows earth chakra through their whole body and literally absorbs the traits of the surrounding earth. The result? A super thin, skin-deep armor that's completely transparent. You only see it when light reflects off the surface. That means opponents don't even know it's there, giving you a totally insane tactical edge. The defensive power of rock armor is honestly mad impressive. It can tank pretty much all blunt force trauma, basically turning the user into a walking tank. Moreover, you can throw ridiculously powerful punches and even break out of restraints like it's nothing. This is the perfect combo of defense and offense packed into one technique. It's kinda like Kakuzu's Earth Spear, but cooler. Three Tails Chakra Release. Now we're getting into one of the most unique and mysterious connections in the entire Naruto universe. Yukimaru's Three Tails Chakra Release. This is a seriously fascinating case study of someone controlling tailed beast power without even being a Jinchuriki. To really get how this works, you gotta understand that Yukimaru had this super mysterious bond with the Three Tails that was never fully explained. At first, he could only create an apparition of the beast after popping Kabuto's enhancement pills. Think of it like catching the shadow of real power. You see the form, but it doesn't actually have substance yet. The progression of his ability is honestly wild. With higher dosages, and when combined with Gorin's crystal release technique, Yukimaru could make the full Three Tails actually appear. But here's the catch. He had zero control. This was the turning point. Pure raw power, no mastery. The beast basically turned into an unstoppable rampaging monster instead of an ally. The real breakthrough came when Gorin was in danger from the Three Tails itself. The emotional stakes triggered something deep in Yukimaru, and he managed to completely stop the beast with no pills, no external help, just straight willpower. The climax hit when Gorin seemingly sacrificed herself to save him. Yukimaru totally lost control of his emotions and unleashed his powers at their absolute peak. The result? The Three Tails went on a rampage so insanely strong it broke through the four-corner ceiling barrier, a defensive technique built specifically to contain tailed beasts. That's next-level destructive power. What's truly profound here is the parallel with Naruto's Jinchuriki transformations. Just like Naruto, Yukimaru's ability was directly tied to his emotional state. When he's calm and focused, he's got precise control. When he's emotionally overwhelmed, it's just a raw, overwhelming release of power. This suggests that tailed beast bonds, whether through sealing or mysterious connections, ultimately demand emotional mastery to turn them into a true partnership instead of just a destructive outburst. But ninjas don't just keep chakra inside their bodies, they also pump it straight into their weapons to make the damage insanely higher. And now, let's get into Flying Swallow. Flying Swallow is one of the very first chakra flow techniques we ever saw in the series. People call it an addition line ninjutsu, meaning instead of creating some brand new move, it boosts the power of your weapon. The mechanics are honestly simple, but absolutely lethal. The user channels chakra into their blade, forming a dense chakra edge that wraps around the real blade. This instantly extends the weapon's reach like crazy. Furthermore, you can freely adjust the length of that chakra blade. That means opponents will literally never know the true range of your slashes, and that's an insane advantage. Asuma showed this off perfectly with his iconic chakra blades. He infused them with wind release, making the cutting power so ridiculously sharp it could slice stone and metal like butter. He even managed to wound Haiden with it, leaving that dude totally shocked. Sword of Kusanagi, Chidori Katana. Sasuke channels Chidori's lightning chakra directly into his Chokuto blade. Think of it like turning a regular sharp sword into a freaking high-voltage cutting tool. The lightning chakra radiates off the blade and massively amps up its slicing power. This thing becomes almost unblockable, casually cutting through steel like it's nothing. But the cutting edge is only half the story. When the blade stabs an opponent, the electrical current floods straight into their nervous system, making their muscles contract uncontrollably. That's the genius of it. It's a brutal double threat. First, you get pierced by the blade, and then you're instantly paralyzed, unable to move, defend, or even counterattack. Super Vibrato Lightning Release Swords. This one right here is Killer Bee's signature weapon flow. What Bee does is channel lightning chakra straight into his weapons to crank up their vibration frequency. Sounds kinda basic, right? But the effects are just mind-blowing. With this technique, even something as dumb as a pencil turns into a deadly piercing and cutting tool that easily outclasses standard wind release. And that's wild when you think about it. Wind release is literally famous for its insane cutting ability, but super vibrato lightning release just casually surpasses that through pure vibration hacks. The physics is brutal. Higher frequency vibrations basically make the blade act like a molecular level saw, slicing way more efficiently. Danzo also flexed some chakra weapon flow during his fight with Sasuke. Wind release, vacuum blade. The mechanics are super straightforward but honestly brilliant. The user exhales wind-infused chakra onto their weapon, instantly boosting its sharpness, range, and lethality. Think of it like upgrading basic gear into premium, god-tier equipment. Even a simple kunai gets transformed into a makeshift scimitar with exponentially higher cutting power. What makes this technique truly insane is its adaptability. Literally any bladed weapon can be enhanced. Kunai, shuriken, full-size swords, you name it. This isn't some niche move tied to one weapon, it's a universal enhancement system. In real combat, that flexibility is priceless, because a ninja can adapt this technique to whatever weapon is in their hands at the moment. That's what makes it so incredibly valuable for field ops, where gear swaps happen constantly. Secret technique, stone needles. This is the perfect example of using chakra as a weapon instead of just some energy source. The mechanics are pretty straightforward but stupidly effective. The user throws kunai with strings attached toward the opponent. When the kunai makes contact, that's when the magic really kicks in. Chakra runs through the strings and acts like a paralyzing agent. The whole point here isn't about stacking damage, but about shutting the enemy down, leaving them wide open for follow-up attacks or just straight up neutralizing the threat. This technique represents a completely different combat philosophy. Instead of brute force destruction, it's all about control and tactical advantage. That paralysis effect lets the user either capture the opponent alive or set up devastating finishing moves the enemy literally can't defend against. But here's the sad twist. Aoda and Yamashiro used this move on Kisame. And against a dude with chakra absorption abilities like him, this technique can completely backfire. Kisame just casually stole the chakra flowing through the strings and showed absolute immunity to the paralysis effect. Man basically turned their secret weapon into free fuel for himself. Samurai Saber. Now we're talking about one of the most sophisticated and versatile chakra flow techniques out there, the legendary Samurai Saber technique. It's exclusive to the samurai, and that's exactly why these dudes are respected so much across the ninja world. At its core, it works kinda like Flying Swallow or Sasuke's Chidori Katana. The user channels chakra through their sword to extend both the reach and the cutting power. But what makes the Samurai Saber stand out is insane. Every swing of the blade can fire off chakra crescents with absolutely destructive power. These things can completely pierce stone pillars and still cause damage after impact. And that's just the basic version. The real genius here is in shape transformation. Samurai can sculpt their chakra blades into totally different weapon forms that extend way beyond the original sword. They can whip up giant broadswords, spiked shafts, even massive axes, all starting from a simple wakizashi. Imagine the psychological shock when you think you're fighting a guy with a short sword, but suddenly it morphs into a huge battle axe swinging right at you. It gets even more mind-blowing. That same transformation applies to the projectiles they launch. Depending on the weapon form, those chakra crescents can turn into giant buzzsaws, chakra spears, or all kinds of shapes. That means a samurai can adapt their projectile type instantly to match the tactical situation. One single technique with infinite variations. Double-bladed scythe. The double-bladed scythe is a melee weapon redesigned from Hiden's original scythe created for the post-war rituals of the Jashin cult. Instead of Hiden's heavy triple-bladed monster, Ryuki's version cuts it down to just 2 blades. That makes it way lighter and absolutely more flexible in close combat, though the lack of chains does shorten its range. Function-wise, it's pretty much the same deal as Hiden's 3-bladed scythe. It's not really optimized for raw direct damage. The main point is to draw blood. Once that's done, the curse technique, body-controlling manipulated blood, can be activated. But here's the twist. Unlike Hiden, Ryuki doesn't stab himself to link the curse. Instead, he inflicts damage on a puppet, and every wound on that puppet gets reflected onto the target. It's basically an indirect damage system. Overall, it's way more rookie level and honestly way less creepy compared to Hiden's original ritual weapon. Like, Ryuki's version feels more edgy cosplay than full-on horror movie villain. Chakra Cannon. The Chakra Cannon is a massive energy weapon system, developed after the 4th Shinobi War to deal with cosmic-level threats like the Otsutsuki. Yeah, imagine this. Peacetime rolls in, and instead of kunai or shuriken, ninja are literally busting out giant cannons. Mechanics-wise, the Chakra Cannon works by gathering chakra from multiple shinobi and condensing it into a single, absolutely devastating energy blast. The Chakra Diffusion Cannon can fire a network of glowing green beams powerful enough to totally vaporize a meteor swarm in just seconds. Meanwhile, the Chakra Transportation Cannon channels all that chakra into a golden sphere that straight up banishes massive objects, including an entire moon, into another dimension. That's insanely more busted than Kamui by miles, bro. But here's the twist. When the design got stolen and repurposed by the Funato clan, they turned it into a mobile cannon mounted on their sea fortress. So yeah, this god-tier anti-Otsutsuki weapon somehow ended up being pirate artillery. Microscopic Scientific Ninja Tools. The microscopic scientific ninja tools are basically a full-on bioweapon system created by Kara, showing off just how insanely far their tech has pushed ninja combat. Instead of slapping on a weapon or a gadget, this system straight up restructures the user's body into a complete battle platform. Here's how it works. These microscopic nano units can rewrite muscle tissue into whatever the fight needs. Arms can morph into chakra cannons, flight devices, or even extend like grappling tools to control distance. It's a totally new combat model. Your body stops being a limit and becomes an all-in-one arsenal, switching seamlessly between close combat, long-range firepower, and insane mobility. One of the biggest buffs is its insane self-repair ability. Instead of depending on healing jutsu like Creation Rebirth, which takes crazy chakra control and a long setup, the microscopic tools let the body automatically regenerate damaged tissue through biological reactions. In long, exhausting battles, this auto-heal is absolutely game-changing. From a big-picture view, these tools prove tech has completely overtaken the old chakra rules. They've basically created a new class of warriors, fighters who don't need a special bloodline, don't need years of training, but instead are built from biodesign and algorithmic muscle control. Honestly, it's like Kara said, why grind chakra when you can just upgrade your body like DLC? Otsutsuki Clan Puppets. The Otsutsuki Clan Puppets are basically next-level automated weapons built by the Otsutsuki tech branch on the moon. This is like a massive upgrade compared to the old-school puppet arts. Instead of relying on chakra threads and the user's constant focus, these bad boys run fully automatic. You can literally activate and control them remotely through thought signals. Zero strings attached, literally. Structurally, these puppets are engineered to store and re-release chakra as pure energy weapons. They can shoot out insanely fast energy orbs that cause wide-area destruction, turning the battlefield into straight-up chaos. And it doesn't stop there. They float in mid-air and can extend their limbs, so they attack from multiple angles at once, putting crazy pressure on opponents. Traditional defenses honestly can't keep up with that kind of multi-directional assault. In short, this system is absolutely perfect for aerial warfare, long-range destruction, and locking down tricky terrain. It's like the Otsutsuki said, why fight fair when you can fight broken? The real power move of this system is its automatic coordination. Unlike old-school puppets, these units don't need constant micromanagement. They can operate in squads, hold formation, and chain battle actions all on their own, no babysitting required. Compared to the traditional puppet techniques from guys like Kankuro or Sasori, the Otsutsuki puppets are just flat-out superior. They're way more flexible, can stay active for longer, and fight more effectively. The older systems were always stuck with limits, like range issues, the user's focus, and those visible chakra threads. This new system totally deletes those weaknesses, giving you an army of puppets that can be deployed in bulk while still hitting insanely high efficiency. Even Kankuro himself studied these puppets to upgrade his own game. He pulled off a crazy trick, controlling them with chakra threads so thin they're basically invisible, making it look like the puppets are running on auto mode. On top of that, he boosted his control so much that he didn't even need hand signs anymore. Plus, he extended his range massively. That's honestly a huge glow-up inspired by the Otsutsuki tech. Ray-shaped bow. The ray-shaped bow is a chakra-based weapon passed down from the Otsutsuki clan, built in the form of a stingray-shaped bow with a wild oscillating energy frame. Unlike regular chakra weapons that rely on raw physical power or flashy jutsu skills, this thing works by channeling chakra through vibrating bowstrings, letting the user bend arrow paths with crazy precision and adapt to any battlefield environment. What makes it extra busted is the arrows it fires. These chakra arrows can phase straight through obstacles, track targets with sonar-style detection, and instantly paralyze an enemy's chakra system on contact. That's double damage, physical and energy-based, locking down the target so fast they literally can't fight back. On top of that, the bowstring's oscillation means you can curve arrows around cover, striking from blind angles and creating brutal multi-directional pressure. The real strategic flex here is long-range dominance. You don't need monster strength or god-tier chakra reserves to use it. The ray-shaped bow lets you spam high-precision, paralyzing shots without burning out, making it perfect for hunts, target control, and shutting down opponents before they even get close. Iron Sand. Iron Sand is Shinki's ultimate flex move, straight up inherited from the third Kazekage's legendary magnet release. By magnetizing tiny iron particles, Shinki can fully command them with chakra, shaping the dust into blades sharp enough to pierce, shields tough enough to tank, or even puppets he controls like a pro. This stuff is crazy adaptable. It can swarm into complex traps, lock down multiple enemies at once, and literally redesign the battlefield mid-fight. Shinki doesn't just attack, he dominates space, forcing his opponents to play his game. During the Chunin exams, his Iron Sand completely locked down Boruto's whole squad, cutting off their offense and shoving them straight into defense mode. No cap, the move is both raw power and surgical precision at the same time, showing off the Sand Village's insane creativity and Shinki's own deadly calm fighting style. Lightning Release Suit. The Lightning Release Suit is basically a combat power-up armor, built as a high-tech chakra platform that totally redefines how ninja power works in the modern era. The system runs on an artificial lightning chakra core combined with motion sensors, creating a full battle frame that can react, strike, and control way beyond normal human limits. At the heart of the suit is its motion-sensing visor. This thing can analyze enemy behavior in real time and even predict their movements with crazy precision. When activated, the system links up with the boosted lightning chakra, cranking up your nerve processing speed and reflexes to superhuman levels. That means the user can perform high-intensity combat moves without needing massive chakra reserves or elite skills. In short, it straight up gives you lightning chakra mode speed and Sharingan-level close combat hacks at the same time. The arsenal it brings is also wild: long-range fireball launching, limb extensions to totally dominate distance control, and paralyzing shock effects that can pierce through armor thanks to the electric aura coating the suit. Big picture, this weapon makes it possible to roll out squads that are evenly powered, cutting down on reliance on superstar individuals and massively boosting group combat effectiveness. Honestly, it's like giving a whole army Raikage light suits with bonus hacks. Absorbing Hand. The Absorbing Hand is basically a bionic prototype cooked up by Katasuke Tono, and it's the very first time we ever see chakra absorption tech built straight into a combat prosthetic. The whole design is literally inspired by Momoshiki Otsutsuki's crazy Rinnegan powers. Function-wise, this thing works like a straight-up active chakra shield. Whenever somebody throws ninjutsu at it, the hand can totally absorb all that chakra energy and just cancel the jutsu right on the spot. In live battle tests, it's already proven it can handle high-level moves like the Rasengan, and it even absorbed water release mixed with lightning release smoothly. That's insanely impressive for high-speed combat situations. But here's the catch: this absorbing hand is still only a prototype. It can't refire or recast the stolen jutsu like Momoshiki does with his Rinnegan flex. Still, if the user's got a stable and strong chakra supply, they can absolutely keep the absorption going non-stop without running out of energy. So yeah, no crazy counterattack yet, but at least we've already got something that's basically like the Prita path from the Rinnegan. Absorbing Eye. Now this one's actually a bit closer to Momoshiki's hacks. The Absorbing Eye is a full-on bioweapon system built by Amato from Kara, and it got slapped onto tactical cyborgs like Delta. It's not some traditional dojutsu. It's honestly a massive leap forward in chakra control tech and raw battle response. Structurally, it's a triple threat setup: energy absorption, damage feedback, and total shutdown of biological regeneration. These three together literally let you control the entire flow of a fight. Here's how it plays out. The eye can straight up absorb all the chakra from an enemy's attack, process it instantly in real time, and then redeploy it as a counterstrike with the exact same original damage. That basically creates a no-chakra zone on the battlefield, where every single ninjutsu gets flipped back immediately. From a tactical standpoint, it completely deletes scouting and makes chakra-based attacks super high risk, especially in head-on clashes. On top of that, the system's packing a crazy laser mechanism that burns targets at the molecular level, and it's not just raw physical damage. The beam completely cancels out biological regeneration. That makes it insanely effective against people with healing powers like Byakugo, or even Hashirama's legendary cells. In a drawn-out fight, where endurance and recovery usually decide everything, this tech absolutely crushes your opponent's ability to stay in the game. To make sure it's totally dominating the battlefield, the Absorbing Eye actually comes with its own scouting drones. Since these things fly up high, they give full 360-degree vision and can even track non-physical jutsu. That means the system stays on guard constantly. No blind spots, no sneak attacks, nothing slipping through. Overall, it's basically like Momoshiki's Rinnegan, but with an extra nasty trick, the ability to destroy regeneration systems. The catch, though, at the end of the day, this is still tech, not some natural dojutsu. It's limited by how much energy it can charge up. Push it too hard, and the whole thing literally short circuits. So yeah, the abilities are absolutely busted. But like with any artificial power-up, it's not nearly as durable as something that's innate. Crazy strong, but not built to last forever. Cursed Seal Device. The Cursed Seal Device is a biological combat tool created by Tosaka, based on research from Jugo's Sage transformation. Structurally, it's basically a collar that can trigger high-level chakra transformation without any implants or special genetic requirements. Unlike Orochimaru's complicated implant process, this device lets literally anyone, even ordinary civilians, tap into a transformation state similar to Sage transformation. Once activated, the collar generates a curse mark that spreads like a chakra virus, turning the wearer into a warrior strong enough to totally overwhelm low-tier shinobi. In field tests, it proved it could mass-produce fighters by spreading the infection across entire populations, including both animals and civilians in the Land of Rivers. But of course, there's a big weakness. When the device went up against Jugo himself, the original Sage transformation user, it got completely shut down. The real, natural source of chakra still holds absolute superiority in direct combat. Fire Gatling. The Fire Gatling is a specialized scientific ninja tool designed to convert stored ninjutsu into fully automated firepower. Built with a condenser-type structure and rotating barrels, it can maintain crazy high fire rates using scroll cartridges, basically spitting out a non-stop chain of fireballs without draining a single drop of the user's chakra. This is a huge step forward in separating combat power from human limits, letting you unleash stable and absolutely overwhelming firepower. Like seriously, even a regular guy like me could just ask Sasuke to record 10 fire releases and load them into the gun. Boom, instant ninja minigun. Unlike traditional fire release jutsu that depend on personal chakra and casting time, the Fire Gatling works like a full-on mobile artillery system. Continuous fire rate, sustained damage, wide area coverage. It's the perfect weapon for raid missions and suppression. Compared to classic Kaiten techniques like Great Fireball or Flame Bullet, the Fire Gatling is totally superior in terms of sustained damage output, deployment speed, and how easily it integrates into modern battle systems. But of course, it's not flawless. Overheating is a serious tactical weakness, forcing the operator to carefully manage firing cycles or risk a complete lockup. At the end of the day, it's still a weapon, not a flexible shinobi. Once you understand its behavior, though, countering it becomes way easier. Handheld Kunai Launcher. The handheld kunai launcher is basically a mechanical battle tool made to totally boost how ninjas control three-dimensional space in modern fights. Its design looks kinda like a machine gun, but instead of using normal bullets, it fires high-speed kunai from a mechanical ammo belt. That means it creates a non-stop, super dense barrage that can absolutely shred anyone unlucky enough to be in range. When you slap it together with the winged mechanical devices, this thing basically turns into an airborne firepower platform. It lets fighters pull off aerial raids from any height with steady accuracy. And trust me, keeping precision while flying around is a game-changing edge. Unlike regular kunai throwing, where you need elite-level hand skills, this launcher makes it easy to deliver deadly damage, even for squads that aren't top tier. That massively expands how useful it is in team strategies. Performance-wise, the handheld kunai launcher hits mid-tier damage output on a squad level, which is seriously enough to wipe out entire mid-level enemy groups in no time. That's the kind of efficiency solo techniques usually can't match, especially in high-speed battle zones. Honestly, the whole thing kinda reminds me of Tenten jumping into the air, summoning her endless weapon stash with scrolls, and spamming kunai storms all over the place. The funny part though, it actually has a super solid use case. You can totally strap this baby onto an automatic puppet system and just let the puppets do the firing for you. Talk about lazy but deadly. Marlin Harpoon. The Marlin Harpoon is a semi-biological, self-aware weapon built and used by the Funado clan. Unlike normal ninja tools, this thing is basically alive. It can react, move, and even make independent decisions in battle. At first, it looks like a long spear with a marlin-shaped head and a pull cord for steering. But once activated, it totally transforms into a full metallic creature that can fly freely through the air with insane speed and flexible movement. Sounds familiar? Yeah, that's straight up the Samehada concept, but turned into a harpoon. It also comes with the broken ability to drain chakra on contact. Whenever it hits, it immediately eats away at the target's energy, completely shutting down techniques like Rasengan right at the point of impact. In terms of raw damage, the Marlin Harpoon hits high tier for mid-range weapons, easily piercing through hard materials like stone or steel, while also pulling off super-fast aerial strikes powerful enough to wreck warships or carve up the terrain. And because it scales with whatever chakra it absorbs, the longer it fights strong targets, the deadlier it gets. Basically, a damage snowball. But here's the catch. The big weakness lies in its conscious control system. Since the Marlin Harpoon is self-aware, someone like Araumi can straight up override the original user and hijack the weapon, leading to command conflicts mid-battle. Very Samehada energy right there.